Let's take and little boy prays. Stretch it up a little bit. Sorry, Ryan. Ryan stretched a couple of intercostals, and it just occurred to me that this might be a little painful. Let's take it down and just lean over to where you feel comfortable. Let the lower back open up a little bit. Unfold your hands toward your feet. Oh, yes. Good. Let's take your hands, just put them right above your knees. Spread your feet out a little bit. And on this one, what we're going to do is we're going to twist the hips. Notice I didn't slide my hips. If I'm right here on the staff, I'm not sliding over to a side. I'm twisting into it, and then I'm opening up those intercostals, on this case, on my right side, as I turn and look behind me. In Chinese medicine, this exercise, they usually refer to it as opening up the kidneys. Good. Then come back to neutral. You twist, then look behind. Oof. Good. Come back. Push your lower back up toward the sky, and then roll it up bone by bone to where you get back up here. Okay. We're all good? All right. So let's do a little posting. Okay. And we're going to do the basics, just a little breathing in, just to settle the mind down, leave the day where it has been. There you go, Ryan, if you don't mind turning the other way a little bit so that they can see you. Good. Let's do two more breaths. Breathe in. Once more. I'd like for you to settle. Just bend the knees a little bit. Chin up. Just a steady breath. Nice and easy. Allow the arms to rise up a little bit, about the level of your heart. Ideally, you'll find a little texture through your body as if the arms are embracing a ball along with your chest. Maintains enough texture that it's just gently squeezed. As you exhale, this time allow the palms to rise a little bit higher and the palms turn away. Pedal your waist into your legs. This time, as you exhale, allow the palms to come down just beside you. Let the hands regather at the toward the dantian. Stand up nice and tall. We're going to do a little postural work as an introduction to some of the exercise 4 that's coming. And it doesn't matter what part of Tai Chi that you're practicing, it's all going to it'll all help as far as your practice. The reason I wanted to use the golf clubs was that it provides a three-dimensional, at least some sort of alignments so that you can see. Uh, for folks like Ryan and those who have been around me for a while, yeah, I used to use tennis court lines and basketball court lines. I actually used to, walk up and down a baseball field because that from home plate to the outfield, around the field, and back down the third base line, it was, the lines help. So I thought it might be a way of adding a little dimensional work to you for you. One of the things that's going to be coming up in pretty soon is the slow palm, or it's called slanted fly, slow palm, slanted fly, lean on the diagonal. It goes by a number of different names. But one of the things that you're going to find is that you have to be able to start and then step, move the body, just like we were talking about earlier, right? The bump, then the elbow, and then the hand. Okay. So if I'm stepping out and I roll with it, you see how the hand is arcing around the plane here? It's not coming straight up. Okay. That's more like a ward off technique. That's how that's used. That's when the ward off is usually like a shovel, right? The slanted fly comes out, and it comes out in this big, long, arcing sort of technique. Okay. You want to try that a couple of times? First, let's just get into the posture. Ryan, you kind of help. Okay. Help them a little bit. So what we're going to do is just get into the posture. And like I said, it's going to feel just like a parting horse's mane. Okay. Pretty much when you get all the way out here to the end. You like most of your weight to be up front, about 70%. The other nice thing with having the lines is that you can see the gap between my feet, between my heels. And the idea of what you're working with here, the texture in your mind, is that the yin side is kind of pressing down, and this one is extending and arcing out. And your legs will feel the same thing. So it's not like my legs are just driving forward. What's happening is that they're driving forward. And if you could see, if I had stripes on my pants, like the seam right there, you'll see it twists in, but it still stays over my foot. Now I'm going to I'm going to change angle and use the line this way. And we'll just do the other side. How about that? Yeah, let's just do the other side, and I'll do it from a different angle. So if I'm in here, now I'm putting the club here at out on my heel, so that when I step out, I'm here, and then I'm going to pull, and as I pull, I bump, roll, come out. Let's take let's take 7 breaths right here. And each time you exhale, just imagine that you're expanding. Wow. Notice where, Ryan and our nose is pointing over here. It's not looking somewhere else. It's right down the line with my hand, my foot, and my nose are all down that club line. Good. Okay. So just let it pull itself back in. Now, let's look at moving into it. Okay, so we'll start from the beginning of the posture to try to get to that point we were just practicing. In it, what we'll do for right now is we'll just keep it simple. We'll use hold the baby as a starting point. Okay, and we're going to end up here. All right, now I'm going to step out, shift the weight forward just an inch so that I feel my hip and shoulder move forward. Okay, Ryan, I'm going to turn the other way so the camera can see me this way. Yeah, okay. So that when I step forward, you're going to see my body slide down the club line, but nothing's really moved, just a bump. So don't bump and turn so quickly. Most time what people are doing is they're turning their waist and they forget the 1 inch movement. Then when you begin to turn, since the arms are going to be doing opposite things, the hand that's young is the one that leads the power. Okay, it's going to pull, and as it pulls, the waist begins to roll and turn and shift to the finish. Okay, let's just roll that back up. Shift, bump, turn, and down. Good. Roll it back up. Now, one of the things that's a little different with this one is that you'll see that the hand, as it pulls, it's almost passing right by my elbow. Okay. It's really in there nice and tight. I'm going to go this way one time. Out. And ideally, you'll be able to see that this hand is like stroking down the golf club line while the other one is rotating around and arcing around it. Good. Okay. Just give that some more reps. We're not going to try to do both sides tonight. I just want to introduce one side as far as technique goes. Okay. Good. That's better, Bob. Just allow it to stretch out a little bit more. Don't short arm it. Right. Pretty much it's just a different name to give you a different idea of intention. Okay. Well, so as Ryan was just saying, now I'll be very general. All right. Yeah. All right. So in this particular case, let's turn this way first so that you can see. If he's coming straight down the line, just like at the golf club here, I'm going to roll to here. That's what I'm working on. Okay. I'm learning to shift the angle. And then the diagonal part comes as I'm here, I'm going to step out and roll this way. Okay. All right. And I can pull here and draw it back, or just have the intention and hold on to it into here. Okay. But the idea is that it's coming around, swinging like a big baseball bat. Right. Not just shoveling up. That's a slightly different technique. You almost finish. A lot of times they'll interchange it, because it doesn't really matter. It's a matter of what are you trying to use it for. But on the slow palm slanted fly, it has a long arcing, and sometimes I'll even teach you how to shift and turn the palm down. Okay. Change your hands, Bob. There you go. Good. Good. Okay. Out. Remember, bump, then turn the waist, and then out. Okay. First, you just do it mechanically. And you try to get, there you go. There you go, Kathy. It's getting there. Then eventually what you'll do is that you will try to make all three finish at one time, so that when I get to here, the belly button is going to finish advancing and rotating. At the same time, this knee finishes. And at the same time, my waist finishes. Boom. All three finish at the same time. the knee finishes, the belly button finishes, and both arms finish all at the same time. That's the sort of coordination you're looking for, but it's got to be coordinated through the waist. That wasn't bad. Do it again. Okay. Okay. You're leading too much with the hand. All right. Shoulder. Shoulder. Don't rotate. Shoulder first. 1 inch. Then begin to rotate. Elbow. Then hand. Yeah. See, all three techniques should be available to you. When you're practicing Tai Chi, you always are practicing all three techniques in most cases. Not all the time, but most of the time. For our practical purposes right now, it's just easier to say all the time. So I get it ingrained in you. Then I can give you more leash later. Right? Any questions on that particular technique? Now it's going to show up because right now y'all are in your 48 and you had just finished in, back, out, turn, on. Then you're going to have the cloud hand up and two, stepping out, and then it's going to cut, and then you're going to be right in it, right there. Okay? Except you're going to add a cutting hand to it on top of it. So let's do this. We got time. Yes. No questions or observationals? Mm-hmm. Anyway, so Bob's question is the problem when I made the comment that the legs will turn, all right, with the intention. Now, part of what happens, and it's exactly what you're doing now, is first is that it's happening too late, and second, it's excessive. Right. Okay. So, and by too late, what I mean is that when you're getting here and you start and you get to here, then you're saying, okay, now let me twist my knee. No, it should have already happened. Right. So when I step out, as my arms are arcing, my leg, see how it's all so when I get to here, it's finished. It's not start. Yeah. Because if you try to do it at the end, you're going to end up with a broken frame. Right. So that's where the timing of the lower body. The problem that you'll find is that your orchestra gets out of balance because the conductor doesn't know how to communicate necessarily to the percussion section and the winds and the strings, and so it ends up in pure plays and music is right. You get this, it's out of sync, right? So you got to find the way to do that. One of the hardest things, I know this was one of those aha moments for Ryan many years ago, is that everything moves at the same time. That does not mean it moves at the same speed. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Your hands are too slow. Your hands are too slow. They're not supposed to move the same speed. They're supposed to move at the same time, which means that they start together and finish together. But my arm had to carry, what is that? 3.5 feet, 4 feet. My leg only had to move like 2 inches. Right. So that's why the fire set's so easy, so much easier, because you don't have to walk so much. You kind of keep your feet in the same place and learn how to get that timing. So speaking of that, let me move this. Thank you. And let's just finish up. I know we're getting close to 6, but I want to finish up with the little fire set. Maybe we just go through we'll go through the first two. Okay. Yeah, right. Yeah, that was an abomination. Don't watch last week's video. Right. Ron and I flipped sides. We almost were like, this doesn't feel right. Right. All right. So we'll do a little box action for 2 sets. Okay. So hands float. Exhale. Activate the lower body a little bit. Good. Going to shift the weight. Step out. Bend the front knee 1 inch. Begin to rotate the waist. And then find it finished. Turn the back toe in a little bit. Good. From here, we step up. Gather our power a little bit. Extend the knee. Bend the front knee a notch. Don't shift your weight. Okay. Then 1 inch. Begin to roll the waist. Mirror hand becomes up and obvious as you float. Then the hands reach up a little further as you reel the silk around. And now bend the back knee 1 notch. Sit back 1 inch. Begin to roll the waist. And the hands and the body will finish together. The left hand floats. Lays on the wrist or the arm, wherever you feel comfortable there. Bend the front knee 1 inch. Begin to rotate the body, pressing. Good. Wash the back of your hand. Now, we're going to pull back. I like to do the version where we walk the hands over the bridge. And then we pressing forward, pushing down and out. Here the hands lighten. We're sitting back. One body, okay? So from the top of my head to my tip of my tailbone is going to turn. Then when it won't turn any further, I put my toe down and I shift my weight. I use my body to shift my weight, and then I uncoil that power. Separate the clouds. Holding the baby. Step out. Bend the front knee. Begin to 1 inch bump. Then start to turn the waist. And come on up to mirror hands. Then reach up and out a little bit. Bend the back knee. Then begin to shift the weight 1 inch. Then begin to roll the waist. Roll back. The right hand floats. Lays on the wrist. Bend the front knee. Move the body 1 inch. Begin to press forward. Good. Wash the back of your hand. Pull, walk the hands over. And then walk them back. Good. We're going to go ahead and do the second set. Sitting back, move the stone. Draw it all together. Same idea here. I'm going to step out, extend the knee, bend it 1 notch, 1 into the body, begin to unfurl my waist, and turn. Good. From here, I'm going to slide back just 1 inch, empty the hands, turn, sit back. Good. I like to exhale here as I'm curling myself around, turning. Taking a breath. Exhale. Good. Then the hands and arms return to neutral and the foot changes its stance to a toe up. There you go. From here, turn as one body. Extend the knee 1 inch. Unfurl the waist as you're rotating. Bring the hip and toe with you. And out. sit back an inch, empty the hands, begin to turn your waist, and sitting back, uh, cutting down, slicing it down, turn the body, taking a breath, exhale. Good. From here, we're going to turn and push the sky. Step out. Gather. Bring it up. Bring the foot in. Press down.